what's up everyone, and, well, I should say happy holidays, considering probably not everybody celebrates Christmas, but to people that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, and to everybody else, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. It's that time of the year to get to the best, the most anticipated, the most underrated, you name it. So first, best movies, in my opinion, of 2014. A lot of these movies I have probably reviewed already, so it should come as no surprise if they make this list. Obviously, I'll just keep it short, sweet, to the point if I haven't even, reviewed these movies before. Obviously, if I already did, there's really no point. Just check out my reviews for any of these movies that are on this list that I already reviewed. So, let's get to it. Obviously, this list is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more like a Watch Mojo style of, top 10 and a few honorable mentions thrown in here and there, as well as the anticipated. So let's get to it. Best movies of 2014, and please refrain from any negative comments, especially obscene ones. This is my opinion. I'm sure anybody else, like anybody else does, has their own opinion. So let's get to it. Number 10, St. Vincent. Okay, I know I didn't review this one, but my honest opinion is I thought it was going to be a Gran Torino-like movie, considering it was about, neighbor, mentors kid, and teaches him how to fight and stuff. But it's not like that, but is that a bad thing? No. Plot is simple, and I know I'm going to contain a few spoilers here and there, but not major spoilers on this one. Bill Murray plays a crotchety old man who lives next door to this single mother played by Melissa McCarthy. She's pretty funny, but not really in this. I say this film's kind of a great blend of comedy and drama. And of course, Bill Murray watches over her son while she works major shifts at a hospital. And of course, he goes to a Catholic school and gets bullied by kids. And of course, he teaches him how to fight, even though the mother doesn't approve of it and pretty much doesn't approve of anything that Bill Murray does with the kid, and like taking him to the racetrack and gambling, and of course hanging out with I believe like a prostitute woman or something that he starts having affairs with, and of course has to pay back as soon as she gets pregnant. But it's a very good movie. It's very well acted, and the characters are very well liked. I would definitely check this movie out if you haven't checked it out. It's very well done. I'd say Bill Murray should. I would say he or Melissa McCarthy should definitely get an Oscar nomination at least for this one. Very good. Number 9. The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. Okay, I know I just reviewed this one. I just saw this, obviously, and it came out very close to Christmas, which is still out, obviously, now, and I'm sure some people are still getting to watch it, and I'd say if you were disappointed in the last one, which I not really was, but I mean, it was very long, this one's a little bit shorter than the last two. And it's an epic conclusion. I mean, it's like action up the ass. If you haven't seen my review, I know I'm going to say this a bunch more times. Just check it out. It's a very fast-paced movie, which I like, but then again, I sort of felt like a few things were left out. You can complain about that stuff, but who the hell cares? I mean, I like it that way. I love it fast, action-packed, short, sweet, and to the point. And I'd say it was a very good conclusion to a very great trilogy, even though it was just one book, which Peter Jackson was pretty much cashing in on. So, very good. Very well done, and I'm glad Peter Jackson stuck with this series, even though it was just one book. Number 8, Godzilla. Okay, I reviewed this one once again. Not much to say. I really enjoyed it, and like it or not, people, I sure did, even though people complain, oh, Godzilla didn't get enough screen time. Well, here's a news flash for you. In comparison to Godzilla 1998, which I liked it for the action, but I'm sorry, it did not have Godzilla in it. That just had a monster Godzilla wannabe called Zilla. Like it or not, this one actually had Godzilla. I know the Mutos were not exactly the most creative designs for other monsters that he's supposed to fight, but hey, it brings in the traditional Godzilla tradition. Godzilla comes out, fights the giant monsters, claims King of Monsters throne. You get it. I know the screen time and the focus on the human characters is not what Godzilla fans really wanted, but hey, it was enough to please Godzilla fans. Watching especially the end fight sequence between them two, or I should say 3, considering there's 2 Mutos, and I know the human characters were kind of boring, but deal with it, people. And obviously there's sequels yet to come, so I'm looking forward to more. Number 7, How to Train Your Dragon 2. Not much to say about this one once again. Beautiful images, great character development, more characters, more dragons brought in. Great animation film by DreamWorks. They've done it once again. Definitely looking to hopefully get an Oscar, but it's going to be a tough competition with them this year, especially with more movies on my list. Spoiler alert there. But great film with a lot of heart and great animation. You've done it again, DreamWorks. Number 6. Big Hero 6. Okay, obviously this one is probably even better, I should say, considering, not to insult How to Train Your Dragon 2, but you see my review, you don't have to say much. The animation is gorgeous, and it's also a superhero movie, so I ain't got much to say about this one. DreamWorks, well, be on your toes. It looks like Disney's looking to snag another Oscar this year for this one, being that it's also not Pixar, you know. I mean, Pixar's been relatively quiet this year. Number 5. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. No surprise that this one's on the list. It was great. I love the first one, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It was great. A great prequel after Tim Burton pretty much inadvertently destroyed it with that horrible remake back in 2001. Obviously, Rise of the Planet of the Apes and this sequel are meant to pretty much shove that remake right out the door, just like obviously Christopher Nolan's Batman films did with the crappy Joel Schumacher movie. So this one is a great continuation. It leaves off, obviously, 8 years after the first one took place, and it builds up on, obviously, another sequel yet to come. I'm not yet sure what the title's going to be, but it's definitely great. A lot of action, a little slow start, but it's definitely great. And Andy Serkis as Caesar is, as you'd expect, great. Number 4, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Not much to say, I already said all of it in my review. Great action, even though it's over 2 hours. Probably one of the best Avengers spin-offs, obviously leading up to the next one. I'd say it's even better than Thor the Dark World and definitely better than Iron Man 3 by all means. It's great action, the characters are awesome, Captain America is just as badass as ever, trying to, of course, adjust to the modern days, considering he's not from modern days, he's from World War II era, but great continuation, great film. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Another great comic book movie. Don't you just love these comic book films? I never realized this was, I didn't realize this was interconnected with the Avengers film, but it surely is, and you find that out through the course of the film. Spoiler alert here once again, but great film. I didn't know what to expect out of this. The trailer made it look really bad, but wow. Talk about judging a book by its cover, as I said in my review on this one, but it's great. The action's great, the characters are funny, the 3D was really good, and I definitely recommend it. It's a great film. Number 2, X-Men Days of Future Past. God, another Marvel comic film, right? Yeah, don't you just love these? And this one I knew once again was going to be great, especially after X-Men First Class was great, even though I was a little bit worried with the new cast, but now that that film definitely exceeded my low expectations, I'm pleasantly surprised with this one. But then again, not really, because I knew this was going to be good, being that not only the cast from X-Men First Class was going to be in here, but also the original cast from the original trilogy, and Bryan Singer came back, thank freaking Lord, after pretty much dumping on the X-Men franchise to do that lousy Superman Returns movie. I'm glad he's back, and I hope he does the next movie, which is yet to come. Spoiler alert here, X-Men Apocalypse 2016. Keep it coming. Okay, well, before I get to number 1, here's a couple honorable mentions here and there. Lego Movie, not much to say. I didn't know what to expect out of this. I thought it was a really stupid idea, but I could agree with everybody else. I liked the animation, I liked the ideas behind it, the humor was great, but the only thing I didn't like about it was the song, which I felt was really annoying. You know what I'm talking about with Everything is Awesome, but if I can get over that, I still enjoy this movie, though. Fury, great World War II movie. I didn't know what to expect, especially seeing Shia LaBeouf come back to acting after pretty much wearing a bag over his head at the last premiere of one of his movies before this one, but he surprisingly was pretty good in this one. I'm not going to lie. Pretty good. Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect out of this one. Yeah, it's obviously a Groundhog Day-like movie, but it's got action, entertainment. The only thing I didn't like was the aliens, of course. The design of them, of course, was CG, but that's what you come to expect nowadays out of any alien or action movie. Box Trolls. Another great claymation movie, or I should say still animation movie, out of the same studio that brought you films like Coraline and Paranorman. I thought it was very well done. I didn't know what to expect. It was a little slow at first, but it picked up very well towards the end, especially. I thought it was just brilliant. Book of Life, another great animated movie. This one's kind of different, kind of still animation. I didn't know what to expect, but surprisingly, I got attached to this story. The voice acting was really good. I know there's been a lot of good animated movies this year, but this one was definitely one of them. Kind of ignored for the most part, but very well done, and the animation and everything was just very beautiful, I gotta say. And of course, Mockingjay Part 1. Okay, I know this was a mixed bag, and I know this, I already reviewed this one, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually, for what it is. I know it's criticizable, the fact that there seems like they're milking it, and it's a cash grab. They're breaking it up in two parts, taking the Deathly Hallows approach to it. But, deal with it, people. I think the next part's going to be good. This is just getting it warmed up. And did I also forget 22 Jump Street? No. I almost did, but yes. I obviously did, but that's why I'll just throw it in the honorable mention spot as well. Don't have to talk about it too much. Just watch my review on it. It's a good R-rated comedy, probably the best of the year. Great sequel. Definitely worth watching. So. Now the number one best movie in my opinion, this is just my opinion, people, Interstellar. Yes, the Christopher Nolan epic definitely delivered, at least in my opinion. I know it's overlong, but wow, it is an emotional ride, and I liked it. I mean, just watch my review of it. I don't have to explain much more on this one. Matthew McConaughey, all the actors in this film were just great. Anne Hathaway and Michael Caine and the actress, or I should say actresses, who played his daughter Murph, young and old. They were all great. I know it's a bit of a mind-screwing type movie, but hey, that's a Christopher Nolan film. Have you watched Inception? Have you watched anything else that he directed? He likes to take a nice cerebral approach to it and get you to think a lot, and I don't mind that. You got to be in the mood for this kind of movie. I understand you got to have a good attention span for it, but I really like this movie. It surprisingly was good. The special effects were great, and just everything was great, and the soundtrack is definitely deserving of an Oscar nomination. It was tear-jerking. If it wasn't for that, this movie would have not been the emotional ride that it turned out to be. So yeah, great year. That's my list right there of what I think the best movies are, and check in for next video, and I'll talk about the most underrated movies, in my opinion, what were most underappreciated this year, most overlooked. So, till next time, keep watching.